All right, hello. I'm Michael. He's Abdul. We're here back with the Bionic Weekly Update. 2 weeks in a row,
Yep.
we actually did this. Nice job, my friend.
Yeah,
So
we
we
are
are,
getting better, hopefully.
yeah, no, I don't think it's a trend yet.
Yeah.
We'll just take it as we can get it right now. So the fun thing about this week is T minus
Four
4 days.
days. 4 days.
4 days. T minus 4 days until the MHP is launched. This is the day we have been waiting for May, June, July, August.
Yep.
4 months, right? Maybe 4.5 months. How are you feeling? What do you think?
No, I think I have been more confident, right? For the last couple of weeks, but like as it comes near, you start getting some cold feet, kind of thing. You start getting a little bit of nervousness. I think so. That's what's happening, right? Like now that we are talking to people, we have started talking to people. We can see, okay, this is like now coming out to the world, kind of a thing. Now other people will
Yep.
see it. So you have a lot of things going in your mind, but overall, I think we've done a good job, and I think with the MHP and like even after the MHP, we're very well planned now. We know what we want for the beta. So kind of for us, I think this is just like it's a big moment, but it's a moment that like I'm sure that we'll have even like so many more things to talk about as we go forward from this. As people start coming in, they start testing in, and kind of giving us feedback, making our product even better. So kind of, yeah. What do you feel? Last week when we had this call, I think it was Saturday, you said that you'll be sharing some of your feedback of how you think this week went in this call.
Yes, I would say last Friday or Saturday, Friday, I think we actually did it. Today is August 14th, by the way, 2020. I was probably about 30% chance we would hit it, right? Now I'm like 80% chance, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever be 100% unless the tool was done today,
Yeah.
right? Like if it was 100%. That's why I think it's between 70 and 80 for me, because I haven't seen the new updated stuff with everything working. But the midweek, we did a midweek review on Thursday morning, which seems like a long time ago, actually, that actually provided me the confidence to say 80%.
Yeah.
So we need some overlays to disable some of the features that obviously
I think there would be, even once we hit Tuesday, I think that's the thing with these things, right? And especially UI, once the first things you want are done, you see more stuff in it, right? Once that's done, you see even more stuff. So as we kind of clear up the layout, but I think we have done a good job so far. The guys have done a good job in getting us here, and I think there are a lot of things that have to be done still. There are a lot of new features that we have to do. There's like this is, I think, just one moment where I think we are more comfortable in bringing external people on. I think from on a product point of view, it's like that's a big thing that new people will be coming on board. People who have not been, who are like customers will be coming on board. But I think the more exciting part would just start coming in once we start getting their feedback.
Correct. And it's fun. I mean, there's a lot of marketing stuff that we have had to try to get done pretty quickly. It's, obviously a bit stressful, but at the same time, I think it's good. Like you said, you do the big push right at the, as in a football term, you can put it in a cricket term. It's, 3rd and 6 from the goal line, and you got to punch it in the end zone right now. And it's where the rubber hits the road, like we talked last week. And it's where all the cliches can be said right now. So we gotta finish it. It's the fourth quarter. It's the end of the fourth quarter. People are exhausted, but we got to get there and finish it up. So I think there's not a lot to update. I mean, there's not new features we've been added. We actually did have 2 good calls this week with 2 different possible partners that caused us to think about things a little bit differently. And we are, going to add an additional service line that actually took us a little bit to figure out. But I think it kind of falls in line with what we kind of believe. But our core service is still definitely the hosting and providing that value.
Yeah, I think it's more of a value-added service for one of our main personas, right? Like we target agencies, kind of making sure that for agency we are more of a full service shop rather than just.
Oh, you want to come out and say it? Okay, we're going to talk about it. It's already done now. Yeah. Great, I like it. Yeah, so keep going, keep talking about it. I'll add anything that you don't have.
Yeah, so I think like how I look at it is like there's one thing that we've I think we did talk about when we were starting WP Health that okay, a lot of and we have talked about it a little after that as well, like having a service where agency owners can come and just not get hosting, but get the full service package where they can get maintenance, management, security, everything in one window, so they don't have to come to us for hosting and then go to some other developers or some other company to get edits, some other place to get backups or management, like bringing everything together. And I think when we started working on Bionic, I think that kind of got a little lost in that kind of we were too much product. I think so that's what has come back. So I wouldn't say it's a new thing. I think it's more of what was already there. It just with all these new things going on, it was just I think pushed down. And I think these two calls that we had kind of brought that up to center. That it's I think now time to think on these things as well, because that's what kind of we thought about when starting WP Help last year. And so I think that's what has and I think like as we say on the homepage, right, like for our website, I think that people will see next week that hosting shouldn't have shouldn't have been this complicated, right? So I think this goes with our brand kind of ethos as well, that we want to make it more simple for agency owners, like so they get everything in one place.
Yeah. I also think people will they'll either love it. I don't know if they'll hate it. They just might be more annoyed by it. Our new sense of humor injected into the copy that we're going to be using. We'll see. We'll see what the feedback is. It may end up being a super professional website, but right now it's not.
I doubt it, because I think where we are, I think we can maybe
you don't come back from there.
Yeah, I think people might say, okay, you might need to kind of do a little bit of changes, but I think that we've kind of we've stayed. I think we have a video that will be talking about why we kind of did that and why do we think that other people should do that as well. But I think this was something that was always there. We kind of both are not like that kind of corporate kind of people, right, where there's a lot of corporate lingo. So I think that's what the brand is. It has to be us, right? It has to be how we all are in the company. It doesn't have to be someone foreign, right? Because no one in the company is like that, right? No one in the whole company is not very kind of corporate or wear suits or stuff like that. This is how the brand is.
Exactly. And I'll go back to the new feature, which the new add-on, I should say, is we're going to have a white label inbox. We're going to actually answer as if we're you. Right. So that'll be great white labeling facing to your clients of addressing issues, having hosting problems, even making edits to the site, anything under 30 minutes. It doesn't include, creating new images or writing new content or anything like that. Be changing things on the site. Think of it as an edit versus anything new. Obviously, sometimes we can add a new form or do something like that, but it's pretty limited in that space. So that'll be nice. You'll have 24/7 support. You'll obviously have a team that's very familiar with the platform that will be interacting with that. We'll have WordPress engineers on that level. Anything else that you can think feature-wise that, I guess it kind of works for somebody that, like you said, is an agency that doesn't have the in-house support that, we're somewhat targeting another big company out there that might end with buffs and start with WP. But it's similar to that. It's not our core service, but it is it could be a partial add-on that we have. And I
think we already do it for some of the clients, but the thing is, like, this would be more more structured. It would be more integrated with the whole platform, kind of having a little more structure around it. And I think, like you said, I think this is someone who doesn't have in-house resources, or they just don't want to deal with it. It'd be like we have some people who have in-house resources, but they just prefer to kind of have us do it. So their in-house resources, which are at many times more expensive when you compare it, kind of focusing on other things.
Yep. It's not the best use of some resources to be doing simple edits on WordPress sites if you can outsource that to somebody else. But that is what it is. That's kind of the update. That's where we're at. Next week's update, hopefully we'll be able to get to it. I think we're going to have a very busy week.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of changes. Let's talk a little bit about that before we wrap it up. What we think next week's going to look like, because I have an expectation, and you and I haven't even talked about it yet, so this will be interesting, is we launch the product and we're going to start getting feedback, right? And then my issue is going to be is the feedback's not going to be able to be applied until that night, right? Like, because I want to fix things right away. You know how I am, right? Like I want it fixed in the next hour or the next 2 hours. Obviously, that can't happen. We got to wait until the next release, almost even, right? Unless it's
it
obviously
depends.
something
It
that's
depends.
failing.
I think that's the thing. Like we have a process for hot fixes that we've kind of developed for this. So if it's something that's like something is broken, right? So a broken thing can't wait, right? If something is broken, it can't wait. The first question would be how did it get? I assume there shouldn't be anything broken. I think the main thing would be if someone doesn't understand something. And the thing is, it depends on the feature or the feedback, because some feedback would already be features that we are working on, right? Some of the feedback that we'll get, most of the feedback I assume that we get would already be in the roadmap, right? Like how people want to do stuff. So that's something that is being worked on. If it's something that's broken, or if it's something that's not working as it's intended, that is a hot fix, and hot fixes won't wait for releases. So it won't wait for next release. It would just be fixed and be pushed. Now how long does that take depends on what the issue is, but the release cycle, and as we've I think discussed, our release cycles are not long as well. We do releases like every other day or something, and like it will just keep getting quicker as we go forward. The releases will keep getting quicker. And so because we are developing a system of CI/CD and a lot of things where single developers will be able to push the code through. So we might be even on some days we might be even pushing code multiple times a day, right, to the production side.
Sure.
So I think that would be there, but definitely like I think next week will go is I'm not sure we'll be getting a lot of feedback from people we're bringing on. I think what I've done internally in the team, and I think I told you that a day or two ago, that I've made like our support people the main customers right now. I've asked them, kind of going from Monday, just start migrating sites, testing sites, playing around, launching sites, just become like the worst customers who come in and try to break the platform kind of a thing. Just do whatever you can to kind of push the boundaries of the platform. So I think that's where the initial main feedback will come from, right? Because for customers, we'll be inviting them to come on board, we'll be inviting other people to come on board, but I think it would be more of a, maybe it might take a couple of weeks to kind of get that ball rolling completely. But I think the initial feedback that will come is from me, you using the platform, from the support guys using the platform, from migrating sites. Some of our sites do this, so we'll be migrating sites daily to the platform. We're not changing domains or changing the live site, we're just doing staging migrations right now, running the whole process, migrating a site, doing all functions, connecting hyperspeed, everything, doing the whole process. Maybe there's a possibility that from next week, all the staging stuff that like the few migrations that we did today, we might do it on our platform. So kind of start doing those things, start developing staging sites, development sites internally that we need on the platform. So I think that's where the whole feedback will come from. And I think next week would mainly be focused on kind of, there might be a few small ends that the developers have to tighten up, things like that. I think that's where I think next week will go, but it would be a busy week. I know that.
It will be. It will be a very busy week. We can at least guarantee that. I think it's going to be a busy week, no matter what we do, whether we have 1 or 2 people come on or whatever, as we start to migrate some of our sites there as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good wrap for the weekly Bionic update. Well, I can't say weekly. I'm still going to say monthly until we hit 1 month in a row of doing this. We're at 2 weeks now, so next week.
You can say it's sometimes Bionic update. We sometimes do it. So it's a sometimes Bionic update.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
I'm Michael. He's Abdul. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.